Sometimes you hear a whisper inside, and if you stop and listen, you realize it isn't just a passing thought. It is your soul trying to speak. Ibn Arabi once said, "This heaviness you feel is not ordinary tiredness. It is the cry of your heart. What appears to be weakness may actually be God waking you. That sudden pause, that feeling of emptiness, even that strange restlessness. These are sparks of a new beginning." The Prophet reminded us that true peace is with the Lord, and Na explained it further with his deep words. When your soul feels close to breaking, it is not the end. It is an awakening. The moment you notice this, you see the hidden sign God has placed within you. The struggles, the weariness, the silence, none of it is random. Each is a sign that your destiny is being rewritten while you live through it. Think of how small things touch you. A dream you don't understand, a sudden encounter on the street, or just a quiet feeling in your chest. These are not accidents. They are messages preparing you for a blessing larger than you can imagine. Before God grants a gift, He prepares the heart to receive it. That readiness can come as trials, as confusion, as loneliness. But it is not punishment. It is preparation. Arabi said, "People only grasp the greatness of what they are given after they have been tested. And that is why before a great mercy appears, the soul is often shaken." The heart begins to lose interest in the noise of the world. What once seemed important now looks fragile and passing. Then a strange calmness falls, a silence that feels alive. That stillness is the peace of God settling into the heart. And in that stillness, something invisible begins. You start noticing small signs more deeply. You may wonder why these details matter, but they are guiding you. They are doors being opened inside you. Arabi called this stage the gate of preparation. Before you walk through, God shapes you into the one who is ready to cross. Preparation is not always soft. Sometimes it breaks the ego, sometimes it bends the soul, sometimes it stretches your patience until it hurts. Yet every step along this path draws you closer to Him. These signs you are about to hear are not random. There are ways God prepares you for a great gift. Ibn Arabi reminds us that divine blessings never appear out of thin air. They rise within the shadows of signs after the heart has been softened and made ready. Often, these first signs are ignored. Daily noise and distraction make them hard to notice. Yet they speak in silence. The first sign is a deep sense of loneliness. It is not isolation from people, but a turning inward. Conversations lose meaning. Crowds make you feel like a stranger. This is not depression. It is God pulling you inward. Ibn Arabi said, "When the heart begins to hear God, it no longer hears other voices. That is when separation from the world begins to feel like nearness to truth." The second sign is the appearance of repeating symbols. Maybe you keep seeing the same number, hearing the same word from different mouths, or even watching the same small creature appear again and again. These are not coincidences. Ibn Arabi explained that symbols are truth wearing a garment. God speaks in the language of the universe to get your attention. If you learn this language, life itself begins to explain its hidden meaning to you. The third sign is inner restlessness. Outwardly, nothing seems wrong. Life appears stable. Yet inside, something feels unfinished, incomplete. It's as though your soul is standing at the edge of something it cannot yet see. This unease is God moving you from one state into another. Change has already begun, though it has no form yet. Ibn Arabi described this restlessness as a fire that shapes the spirit. Only when you endure its heat can you smell the fragrance of truth. He called these first three signs the silent call of oneness. It is God summoning you not from the outside, but from the depths of your own heart. If you respond to that hidden call, more signs unfold. He said, "Divine grace is like a quiet river written into your destiny. You may not see it, but you are always carried by it." These three prepare you to recognize the flow. Then comes the fourth sign, the need to say goodbye to the old. Without warning, certain ties break, certain paths close, certain chapters end. To you, it may feel like a loss, but to Ibn Arabi, it is God making room for new gifts. A heart weighed down with the past cannot hold the divine. What you call loss may actually be mercy. The fifth sign is a sudden trust, a surrender you did not expect. Even when everything looks uncertain, when reason argues against it, a calm faith grows inside you. You do not know how, but you feel it. Everything will unfold as it should. You begin to say, whatever is meant to happen will happen. This surrender is not forced. It rises quietly from within, a calmness that feels like trust. It is a sign that God has breathed peace into your heart. Ibn Arabi called this the silence of the heart's secret, when it stops listening to noise outside and starts listening to truth within. The sixth sign is the sudden clarity of direction. For so long you drift, not knowing where to go, unsure of your next step. Then one morning you wake, and a quiet voice inside tells you, this is the way. Others may not understand, but you feel certain. That decision is not pushed on you from the outside. It comes from deep within. Ibn Arabi said this is when destiny begins to call your footsteps, aligning them with the path that has always been written for you. Then comes the seventh sign. It is usually something small, something tangible, a sentence you read in a book, a phrase spoken by a stranger, an image from a dream. To anyone else, it looks ordinary, but to you, it feels like the last key turning in the lock. Ibn Arabi called this the mask of divine appearance, when God reveals himself in what seems most simple. These four signs are like letters of an ancient hidden language. If you learn how to read them, you begin to understand what God is telling you. And once you understand, you realize you are no longer who you were. Because grace is not only about receiving, it is about being transformed into someone new. When the seven signs are complete, the circle closes. Ibn Arabi saw them as whispers that make the unseen visible, guiding the heart toward its own rebirth. Each sign is more than an event. It is part of a process shaping you from the inside. And when they all come together, the blessing has already reached your door. Sometimes that blessing arrives as an opportunity, an object, a meeting. But the greater gift is the shift within you. As Ibn Arabi taught, when God grants something, he also makes the soul ready to carry it. The blessing does not simply come from outside, it grows inside you first. And from that moment, the journey does not end. Every blessing is also a responsibility. Your eyes begin to see differently. Your heart becomes more tender. You carry something precious now, an amana, a trust, and it cannot be held only with gratitude. It must be carried with awareness. Arabi said, whoever receives divine grace no longer lives for themselves alone. They spread peace and meaning wherever they go. God's gift changes not just the receiver, but all who come close. That is why grace is never the end. It is the beginning of something higher. And perhaps, standing here, you are already at that threshold. Maybe even this very message was meant as a sign for you. Maybe the questions you have held in your mind for years were waiting for this answer. Maybe the strange feelings you've been carrying were the signals all along. Now they are joined together. But remember, each sign is like a letter. To truly understand, you must learn to read them. And if you know how to see, you will realize God has been speaking to you all along. Even in silence, he hears you and directs your steps. Ibn Arabi said, when a servant notices the sign sent from his Lord, he can no longer live as before. Something inside has awakened, and maybe now, as you listen to these seven signs, moments from your own life come back to you. Perhaps a dream, a feeling, an event. Together they whisper the same thing. You are ready. The door has been knocked. The blessing is already on its way. But here is the deepest secret you must know. Divine grace is never meant only for you. When God bestows a great blessing, it spills over into the lives of others through you. You are not only the receiver of it, you become its carrier. That is why before you now are two choices. You can keep it quietly inside, or you can shine it outward like a light that reaches beyond you. Ibn Arabi said, "Signs do not vanish if ignored. They return with even greater force until you notice them." This is why every sign you see today is not just a comfort, it is a call. And when you answer, it moves you to the next stage of your journey. Do you remember what I said at the beginning? Grace is never simply given, it is prepared. And everything you have gone through until now has been part of that preparation. So ask yourself, which moment in your life felt like a sign? Have you ever wondered if God already placed one before you, but you walked past it without realizing? Share it with us in the comments. Your story might be the very sign someone else has been waiting for. Never forget, God does not send signs in vain. And perhaps even this very video was itself a sign meant for you. If you learned something from this video, like and subscribe to the NoorDeen channel for more wisdom. See you in the next video.